To show you this because it's the reason why I love Dutch barges, and also at this particular moment in time don't like them very much. It's because there just isn't a straight line on the boat. Look at the curves. Starts high, goes low, goes back up, curves round on the outside of this edge, and curves round on the outside of the hull edge. Every cut different on all four sides. So that little job there, which on a wide beam you do in about an hour, because you just cut rectangular bits of plywood and screw them up, that's taken me 2 days. So that's why we love these boats, that's why we hate them as well. So, anyway, that's where we've got the end of 2020. It's not been a great year. He's hoping for better in 2021. It's bloody cold today, I have to say. Ice everywhere. We've got this little radiator in, and that's enough to keep you warm, which is, I suppose, the insulation doing its job really. Because last year it was really cold. Working in here, the place was just bare metal. So we have come a long way, although it doesn't look like it, but we have. Right, the first problem is because this first bit's got the 2 large narrowboat windows in. If we did half a board, which is probably what I want to do because it's more manageable, that gets us there halfway through the window. So for this first board on this side and the other side, we're probably going to have to go full length of the board, which is all the way to here. We're going to start with cutting the board to length, and I'm going to cut it over length. Then I'm going to offer it up and try to scribe in the ceiling, and we'll try and cut in that angle as well. Just try and get it to fit roughly right. Then scribe in the ceiling, and then last of all we'll cut the other end so that it runs halfway across the back. Then we'll probably end up cutting the windows out, and then the last thing will be to run a line under here and trim the bottom. So that's a lot of work for one board. So yeah, just sort of bring you in on that, and we'll see how it works out. Right, first things first, I've got to make the long cut on this big board, so it's a good time to show you this track saw in its full glory. You can join 2 tracks together with these 2 bars that screw in and lock. So then that gives you the full length of the board. So there's your mark. You clamp your track on your mark, go the other end, find your other mark, and theoretically you should be good to go. And what this does is just sits the guides on the track. Your measurement's all set up, and the depth of the saw is set to just a little bit more than the depth of the board. There you go. One straight cut. Didn't fall everywhere. Yeah, that's why I love this saw, or track saws in general, not particularly this one. Got a bit of a problem here. We're going to have to cut 27 to nothing to get that to fit properly, and then we're going to need to scribe the ceiling in. But now we're just going to scribe the ceiling in. 5 mils will do it. Okay, for which I've just made this little. You start at the biggest gap. The biggest gap is here. And then we just run this makeshift tool along the ceiling all the way along. Okay. Right, theoretically, if we cut this line, then hopefully the board will push up and fit nicely against where the ceiling is. Just thought I'd show you this piece that I ended up doing last time I was here. It took me virtually the whole day, about 5 hours I think, to do that. But it's up now and it's okay. Nothing that can't be well, a bit of filler, a bit of paint, and hopefully that'll be okay. Yeah, the only other thing we have to do is figure out what we're going to do for a surround around that window. But yeah, I have to think about that. One for another day. The only other problem we had was, well, I had, was that is a metal support. So I've cut the hole in, centered on the middle of the porthole, and that is metal. I don't really want to cut that out, so we're going to move the porthole surround over by about a centimetre, so it's going to be slightly wonky, and I think that's going to be the same for a lot of them because they're very close to these metal supports here. And then I had to take it all off again because I forgot the vapour barrier. So we're getting near the end of boarding out the inside of the main cabin and bedroom. So yeah, lastly but not leastly, just got to drill a couple of portholes out. So that is our centre. $29.5. 36, maybe a bit over. It's I think it's a couple of millimetres out. We're just going to have to get the oh, I can't remember what it's called, the multi-tool, and just trim a little tiny bit off that edge, and then the porthole ring should go in, hopefully. But there you go, it needs to go over slightly. Okay. One more to do, screw it up, and the interior is, well, the interior of the main cabin is in. There you go. It's nice not to have this foam around, have it all battened in. It'd be nice to get this painted, get the porthole rings in, work on whatever we're going to do for the windows, and yeah, then we'll be on our way. It's starting to look like a boat, just about.